Welcome to the PLZ Soccer Show. I'm Peter Martin. Alan Ruff is alongside me. We're under 2 hours away from the kick-off in St Petersburg. Zenit against Celtic. Celtic have a slender 1-goal advantage, Ruffy. Let's cut to the chase. Are they going to do it?
Yeah, I think they will do it. I think they'll do it by scoring a goal. I think that would be an aggregate, goals away. I think they'll take them through. I do think they'll concede. As I was saying to you earlier, I think the Russian teams who played last week were pretty awful, but last night 2 of them got their act together. I would presume that this Zenit team will be likewise, so I think it might be a backs to the wall night, but I do think Celtic will get a goal, and if they do get a goal, I think that could take them through. Yeah,
but this would be, I think, one of Brendan Rodgers' greatest achievements so far, if he can get them into the next stage beyond Zenit.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest result he had away from home was obviously over in Anderlecht. It was a tremendous result. I'm not saying anything like that's going to happen, but he will see this as an improvement in European football, and who knows, if there was a victory tonight, favourable draw in the next round, they might get a wee run in this trip.
Is there a match winner in that Celtic side that you think can inspire?
Yeah, I think Dembele has to come up with the goods. I think obviously he's been not criticised for the last 2 or 3 months. He obviously was out injured and he's come back in. He's not scoring as freely. But I think we all remember the year that he had in Europe when he was scoring against Man City and the likes. So I'm sure Brendan Rodgers will be pinning a lot on him tonight, obviously to hold the ball up, run the channels and come up with that goal that I'm talking about.
Okay, so both of us think Celtic can sneak through on this one. Going to be tough. Now, let's switch our attention to some of the other news taking place today. There's some amount of political manoeuvring going on, a fair bit of backstabbing, a fair bit of shuffling about, trying to get themselves in good positions. I think the names of the people who are causing the rumpus in Scottish football will emerge over the next couple of weeks, Ruffy. But the SFA, suddenly the story this morning that they could look towards buying Hampden off Queen's Park. Is that a viable option in your mind?
Well, I think everything that was been thrown out along with the £2 million, obviously Queen's Park moving to Lesser Hampden, that being upgraded a wee bit. I think the safe standing behind the goals is something that we've always said, you know, for the spectators behind the goals, it's not great viewing. Everything there looks very, very good. It'll be interesting to see what Queen's Park are saying about this. Obviously, we've got one side of it here talking it up. It'll be interesting to see if Queen's Park go for this.
Yeah, and whether £2 million that's being reported is enough to get them over the edge. And of course, they'll need assurances on other areas where they'll play. I presume Lesser Hampden suddenly comes in to the equation for an upgrade. Safe standing, all of these things we've mentioned on the programme, we've mentioned at various events that we've been at, Ruffy. They're just waiting to see what we're going to say and then they implement it. Simple as that.
Yeah, let's hope they're listening to us then, because I think everything we've been saying is what the supporters want to happen.
Okay, a couple of managers have been talking today. Neil Lennon now seriously thinks second is a viable option for Hibs.
Yeah, I think he's got to talk Hibs up. He's got to make the players and the supporters believe that that is the target to go for. But I think if you got Neil on his by himself, quietly, he would say Europe would be a fantastic achievement this year. So that for me means top 4. And I think they'll achieve that. I think Hibs to go back into European football would be something I don't think the supporters could have seen in the last 2 or 3 years.
Have you ever been on your own in a room with Neil Lennon?
No, I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Yeah, well, I have, and I can tell you right now, you're going to get your jaw broke. I can tell you right now, having sat in his company on many an occasion, if I was sitting in a room with Neil Lennon right now, he would look at me and say, second is a viable option. That's what he's like. He's a winner. You know, whereas when you played for Hibs and you thought, oh great, we've got a 1-1 draw, that's fantastic in this Hibs side. Neil Lennon will be giving it no chance. I want a win all the time.
That's what kind of manager you need. You need to get the players to believe that if your manager thinks you're going to be second, then you believe it as well. And obviously, with the results they've had in the past 2 or 3 weeks, yeah, why not? But got to come up with the goods, and it starts this weekend with a very, very hard game away to Kilmarnock, who are on good form. But if they started winning these games at Kilmarnock away from home, obviously, then you have to start believing it might be on.
Yeah. Okay, we should do that as a competition, a night out with Ruffy, just sitting in watching box sets, or a night out with Neil Lennon. I know which one I would take it. Certainly wouldn't be
not,
sitting next to
not
Ruffy.
after the defeat, you wouldn't.
Yeah. No, but nevertheless, I'm talking about if Hibs win. Anyway, that's what Neil Lennon thinks. What do you think? At PLZ Soccer on Twitter and Facebook.com/PLZ Soccer. Can the Hibs go down to Rugby Park and win against Kilmarnock?
Yeah, I think they can on the form. Yes, they can. It'll need all their big players to step up to the mark. Obviously, the midfield is absolutely buzzing. I think their midfield is stronger than the Kilmarnock midfield. So we'll have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Some mouth-watering games this weekend. Aberdeen Celtic, undoubtedly game of the weekend at Pittodrie. Aberdeen need to stop talking the talk and actually walk the walk and back up all this hot air. They've got to go there and quite simply take a little bit of what Hearts did against Celtic and the craft that they've got themselves and try and defeat the champions and league leaders. Yeah,
I think Derek McInnes needs to do a Neil Lennon. He needs to make the players believe that they have the ability to beat Celtic. They haven't got a good record against Celtic, so this is the big one for them. You know, I think if they don't win this one, I think it could possibly be the end of Aberdeen's season. I think you could see them drifting down the league. Maybe that's why Neil Lennon thinks he can get second place.
Yep, and over and above that, let's not forget, we're still to hear from Graham Murty over the next 24 hours. He's got a lot of players talking about, I mean, Candace is talking about Rangers winning the league. I think some Rangers fans might like to see that as a back page headline, but I'm sorry, I just don't buy into it. They're not ready.
No, they're not ready at the moment, but obviously we're going to look at the results leading up to the Celtic game. They will believe, because they went to Celtic and got a nothing each result, that that gap is closing day by day. But on a one-off, yeah, it might happen, but not for me, not over the next 10 games. I don't think Rangers have got the ability to go on that kind of run.
Yeah, okay then. Lots to talk about on PLZ Soccer Show over the next 24 hours. We'll start to look in depth at what's happening over the weekend, and tomorrow we'll reflect on Celtic's performance against Zenit St Petersburg. Might as well finish off, Ruffy. I know over the course of your career you had maybe the odd pulled hamstring, maybe you damaged your hand, there was something that kind of hampered you that you couldn't play football. Were you ever hit by a cow?
Not that I can remember. I'm sure I would have remembered if I had.
Oh, but absolutely.
Yeah, you don't forget
Tread
that.
carefully.
Yeah, no, you don't. You don't often forget these things. But
Yeah.
no, I haven't, and it's an unfortunate incident. But obviously, if you're down on the farm, these things happen to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Queen of the South's backup goalkeeper Sam Henderson. I'd love to have been a fly in the wall when he walked in and said, "Look, I've been hit by a cow. I think I'm out of this weekend's backup."
I've had a pig stand on my feet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Honestly, there's a headline for that as well, but I'm not going for it because we want to be back on here tomorrow. Ruffy and Pig Sensation. Anyway, we will join you tomorrow. Give us your thoughts on the weekend's football, and we'll reflect on Zenit as well. I'm leaving before we all get arrested. Thanks very much for watching the Soccer Show.